People coming to Serbia are always like, Andre, I've heard that Serbia has some great food, but where do I start? And so today we are going to talk to you about the top 10 foods that anybody coming to Serbia should try. That could be as a tourist or here to stay. So let's get into the top 10 list of the best foods that anybody coming into Serbia should try. And this does not cover all the food that we have here in Serbia. We have some food that has not even hit the top 10 list here, but are just as good, if not better. But I'm going to talk to you about some of the most popular ones, how they're made. Maybe you're allergic to them and you can't even try them. But again, we are a meat and potato country. We don't really do the whole vegetarian thing. We don't do the certain diets that many of these Western cultures have out there. So if you're not a meat and potato type of person or some good old-fashioned homemade cooking, you might want to look at a different country. But if you're loving the good homemade cooking, the meat and potatoes, the food from the land type of country, then you're in the right place. So let's get into the top 10 list here. These are no particular order whatsoever. These are just the ones that I've come up with that I know that many people like trying, and especially myself. I eat some of these on a weekly basis. And so number one is going to be one of the most popular things that, typically anybody coming to Serbia are going to try, and that is called Ćevapi. They're almost like small, hand-rolled hot dogs. Now, they're not hot dogs whatsoever. What they are is grilled minced meat sausages. So they typically are a mixture of beef, lamb, and pork. And they are served with flatbread and onions. And they're not cooked onions, they're raw onions, and they're phenomenal. And they're really fatty. If you eat too many of them, you're going to start putting on the pounds. So watch yourself on them. They are addictive, and I do love them myself. I typically have them in the morning right after I come back from the gym because I want to get those calories in there. I want something that has high protein and something to give me a good kick for the day and put me in my body in the right state as well. Now, number two is going to be called Pljeskavica. Now, I made a mistake calling them hamburgers. They do look like hamburgers. They're made like a hamburger, but do not call them hamburgers here in Serbia because you will have people correcting you that Pljeskavica is not a hamburger. Hamburger is 100% ground beef, where a Pljeskavica is ground beef and pork and sometimes lamb. So it's very similar to a Ćevapi, but depending on who you're getting them from and how they're made, they could only contain 2 types of meat or they can contain 3. Now, the way you eat a Pljeskavica is that it's going to be served with Kajmak. You might have some Ajvar on there. You might have some creamed dairy, chopped onions, of course. One of the things that I love putting on there is called urnabes. It's a red sauce that is typically spicy as well. So you can put that on there as well. You can put lettuce on there. There's a lot of different ways that you can make a Pljeskavica. Again, they are similar to a hamburger, but do not call them a hamburger here in Serbia because you will be corrected. The third one on the list is Sarma. Sarma is your good old-fashioned cabbage rolls that is stuffed with minced meat, rice, and spices, and they are cooked slowly in tomato-based sauce. I've tried, cabbage rolls other places in the world, But again, there's nothing like the ones that are made here in Serbia. They are a staple dish, especially in the winter when it's a little colder outside. You want to have something a little bit nice and warm and keep you warm. Sarma is a great one. Now, one of my favorite ones that we're going to talk about right now is the Karađorđeva šnicla, or schnitzel for my Western people watching this video. Now, this is named after a Serbian prince, and this dish is a consistent dish of rolled veal or pork. I've even seen some of them do it with chicken as well, but the staple is lamb or pork, and it's stuffed with kajmak. Kajmak is almost like a cream cheese that you would find in Western cultures, but it's a Serbian version, which is absolutely delicious, and then it's deep fried as well. And so after it's deep fried and you put it on your plate, when you cut it into it, all the kajmak has melted in there, and it's absolutely delicious. And it's typically served with roasted potatoes and tartar sauce as well. If you do find them here in Serbia, I highly recommend a Karađorđeva. You've never tasted anything like this in Western cultures. I promise you that, and you will not be disappointed at all. Now, on the fifth one that I'm going to talk to you about is something that you can add to your food. It's a spread for bread. I like to put it on my eggs in the morning, and it's called Ajvar. Ajvar is a red pepper relish made from roasted red peppers, garlic, and sometimes they'll add eggplant in there as well. And like I said, you use it as condiments on whatever you want. There's really no rules as to how you want to eat it. Some people like putting it on their Ćevapi even. I've seen people do. But myself, I like to spread it on bread. Actually, what I like to do is take kajmak, spread that on bread, and then put ajvar on top of that. Now, ajvar can come made different ways, so you can have just regular ajvar that is not spicy, but then you can get also spicy ajvar as well. And being I'm a type of person that likes my spicy food, I always get the spicy ajvar. And being that my wife doesn't eat anything spicy, it's all for me. Now, number 6 is something that you're going to be able to find no matter where you go here in Serbia, and it's called Burek. So if you're driving around Serbia, you're going to see places called pekaras, which are bakeries. So they're going to have fresh bread there that you can go buy. You can go buy various fresh pastries that are homemade. But then you have burek, and burek is a flaky pastry that is filled with different types of fillings. So you'll have meat, you can have cheese in there, you can have spinach, you can have potatoes. There's even some dessert bureks that I'm not a fan of. I love burek for a breakfast. And what you typically, my favorite one is with meat. So the Serbians there don't shoot me because some of them like cheese. To each their own, but I like the meat one. And what you do is you get with a yogurt, a drinkable yogurt. It's not the type that you would have in Canada. It's almost like a kefir type of yogurt. And you take a bite of your burek and you wash it down with a sip of the yogurt, which is absolutely phenomenal and a great way to start off the day. But one thing for sure is if you're looking to watch your calories, I would not recommend eating burek again every day because you're going to start piling on the weight. It's very delicious, very addicting, and I'll put on the pounds. I'm not going to lie to you on that one. All right, now the number 7 one is called Prebranac. It is a beautiful baked bean dish that you can find all over, especially in the winter. When harvest time comes in, people want to eat this a little bit more. It's white beans, onions, sweet paprika, and is typically slow cooked. And if you're one of the type of people that don't like a stinky household, I would recommend you not eating this or serving it to your family members. But I can tell you it's a delicious meal. It's a filling meal, high in protein, and it's going to give you some great energy. And it's not as high in calories and not as fatty as what you would find with these other dishes out there. Number 8 is going to be called Gibanica. Now, Gibanica is very similar to what Burek is. So it's, again, you can make it with meat or cheese. But however, instead of it being flat, it's in a rolled pastry, and it's also brushed with some eggs as well. And so you can eat this again, for breakfast. Anytime you would eat burek, you could eat gibanica. I've had it sometimes even for dinner, or I've had it sometimes for all 3 courses of my meals, all 3 times throughout the day. Gibanica is very similar to what burek is. Some prefer gibanica, some prefer burek. I'm one of the 2 that they both taste great. When I go to the pekara, if they don't have a burek with meat, but they have a gibanica with meat, I'll just take the gibanica because all in all, they taste the same. Now, number 9 is one that I already mentioned, is Kajmak. Kajmak is a dairy product that is similar to cream cheese. It is often, again, used as a spread on bread. I've seen people use Kajmak on meat. It's rich, creamy. It's slightly tangy. And also you have mladi Kajmak, you have stari Kajmak, which means young Kajmak or old Kajmak. You can pick this up at, typically any grocery store you go out there. You can pick this up at the market. But again, because a lot of this stuff's homemade, everyone makes Kajmak different. So what the key is to go around and buy a little bit from everybody. Find out which one you like, because some people make it a little bit more salty than the others, and some people like it salty, some people don't. And find out where you like your Kajmak coming from, who makes it the best, and then consistently purchase it from them. Because, if someone's making it themselves, they're going to typically have their own homemade recipe that they're consistently going to make the same way. And you always get the same type of quality. If you're going to be bouncing around, then it's going to be kind of a hit and miss. Are you going to like it or not? Now, number 10 is not necessarily a food item, but it's something that is traditional in Serbian dishes. When you're eating meals, sometimes it's made for breakfast too. You can have it for breakfast to give you a swift kick in the pants to start off your day, and that is Rakija. Rakija is a fruit brandy that is typically made from plums, but you can get it made from pears, apples, apricots. I've seen some people get into desperate times and make it out of potatoes even, which I would not recommend anyone trying. But my favorite one is Kaisia. That is hands down my favorite one. I've seen ones make it from raspberries as well. You can go to any liquor store or any farmer's market and typically find Rakija, being sold out there. Depending on where you're going, if you're going to a farmer's market, you can get a liter of Rakija typically from anywhere from on the lower end of 600 dinars all the way up to 1,400 dinars, depending on time of season, who you're getting it from. If you're going to the stores, I've seen liter bottles go upwards of 3,200 dinars. But again, being here in Serbia, why would you go to a store and buy Rakija when you can get it homemade right from the individual who makes it? You're 100% certain that there's no additives in there, no BS. It's made properly. Again, everyone makes it differently, so you're gonna have to want to go and find out who makes it the best way, who, like, everyone makes kaisi a different way. Everyone makes slivovica differently. And so that's the key. So if you have any more recommendations of types of food that people should try out there, please be sure to leave them in the comments out there so that other viewers watching this video can see your comments. If you have any other recommendations on videos that I should make for you that you would enjoy watching, again, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section.